Kevin Bennett, an 18-year-old human, steps into the prestigious Galactic Academy's lecture hall, muscles primed to share Deathworld tales that will shock his alien classmates to their cores. 200 students fill the cavernous room with insectoid clichics, reptilian saurians, avian avis, and many others twitching in their seats, not knowing that their world views will soon be shattered by a human's casual recollection of the daily gauntlet of survival he calls a normal Earth childhood. Kevin plops down next to Wezen, a blue-skinned Pakled half his height. Kevin is eager to share a taste of life on humanity's home planet, a world with gravity, temperatures, predators, and natural disasters so extreme, most galactic species avoid it like a black hole. Professor Xyloth, a towering grey Graxian, begins discussing the topic of Deathworlds, those rare planets that make simply living a challenge. Deathworlds test a species, culling the weak through a relentless onslaught of hurricanes, tectonic upheavals, ice ages, acid rain, and hyper-evolution of predators and diseases. Civilization becomes nearly impossible, he states with an air of dread. Only the most hardy races survive. Kevin's hand bolts upward. The human has an entire childhood of Deathworld close calls to share, brushes with certain death that his classmates might find more terrifying than his species' discovery of nuclear fission. I once camped in a place called Yellowstone back on Earth. Woke up one night when this monster grizzly bear started tearing through my tent like it was cardboard, probably smelling my candy stash. Kevin shrugs nonchalantly. Luckily it got distracted trying to open a can of beans, so I was able to grab my bolt-action rifle and get off a shot. The round punched clean through its skull. Blood and brains everywhere. Nearly shit myself. But hey, it was him or me. Circle of life on Earth, you know. Gasps of disbelief and awe fill the lecture hall, as 300 alien eyes stare incredulously at Kevin. They had assumed his imposing size and strength for a bipedal primate were from generations of genetic engineering, not the end result of an entire planetary biosphere working in concert to cull his species' weaklings. The other students begin to realize the human before them isn't simply another galactic citizen, but the hardened survivor of a planet that would have chewed up and spat out their ancestors' bones. "How old were you when this happened?" Professor Xyloth asks, his lower arms trembling slightly. "7th birthday." The implications of Kevin's revelation leave a stunned silence hanging over the crowd. Their classmate's scary campfire story is his species' normal, a set of environmental challenges so intense that an average human child's continued existence is a daily game of Deathworld roulette. The thought of being trapped on such a planet chills the students, and their respect and awe for all Terrans climbs as they realize that surviving Earth requires strength, wits, courage, and pure grit. Wezen gazes at Kevin, with eyes wider than satellite dishes. He realizes his initial dismissal of humans as just another dumb primate species might have been the greatest miscalculation of his life. And as Kevin continues sharing tales of skydiving from low orbit, free-climbing kilometers-high cliff faces, and surfing tsunami-like tidal waves, Wezen recognizes that he and his fellow students are glimpsing the human experience through the eyes of what might be the Milky Way's toughest create. Professor Xyloth claps his upper arms together, silencing the lecture hall. "Now, class, it's time for your term project. You'll be paired up to research and present on the ecosystems of various planets." He taps a few buttons on his data pad, and names flash across the screen behind him. "Kevin Bennett, you're with Wezen." The Pakled's blue skin pales to a sickly teal. Wezen glances at Kevin, who flashes a friendly grin, his teeth gleaming like polished bone. The human's earlier tales of narrowly escaping certain death on his homeworld did little to ease Wezen's nerves about working with him. As they begin their research, Wezen's eyes widen in horror at the sheer number of deadly creatures that call Earth home. Venomous snakes, colossal crocodiles, microscopic parasites capable of liquefying organs. It seemed like everything on the human's planet was designed to kill. "Hey, Earth's not all bad," Kevin says, noticing Wezen's discomfort. "It's actually a really beautiful place with all sorts of different environments and amazing animals. I've got an idea. Why don't we take a field trip there? We can gather some first-hand data and footage for our presentation. Weezon nearly chokes on his own tongue. A field trip to your Deathworld? Kevin laughs, clapping the pack lid on the back. Don't worry, I'll keep you safe. Trust me, it'll be an adventure. Reluctantly, Weezon agrees. They board a shuttle and set off for Earth, the blue marble growing larger in the view screen until it fills the entire window. Their first stop is the Sahara Desert, where the sun beats down mercilessly and the sand stretches to the horizon in every direction. Kevin leads Weezon over the dunes, pointing out the hardy plants and animals that have adapted to the harsh conditions. Next, they journey to the Antarctic tundra, where the wind whips across the icy landscape and the temperature plunges far below freezing. Weezon shivers in his thermal suit, but Kevin seems right at home, eagerly explaining how penguins and seals survive in the frigid climate. As they explore the savannas of Africa, a pride of lions stalks past their jeep, eyeing the alien visitor hungrily. Kevin keeps a watchful eye on the big cats, his hand resting on the tranquilizer gun at his side. In the crystal-clear waters of the Great Barrier Reef, Kevin spots a large shark circling below them. He calmly guides Weezon to a safer area, never taking his eyes off the predator. But it's in the Amazon rainforest where Kevin truly shines. As they trek through the dense undergrowth, a tiny dart frog hops across their path, its vibrant colors screaming danger. Before Weezon can even react, Kevin scoops him up and carries him to safety, identifying the frog as one of the most poisonous creatures on Earth. Weezon stares at the human in awe, realizing that Kevin's quick thinking and extensive knowledge of his planet's hazards just saved his life. His fear slowly morphs into admiration for his classmates' skills and bravery. Little do they know, a group of poachers has been monitoring their movements, tracking the rare alien visitor. The heavily armed humans creep through the jungle, closing in on their quarry, ready to capture the ultimate prize for their wealthy client. Kevin and Weezon, lost in conversation about the wonders of Earth's ecosystems, are blissfully unaware of the danger lurking just beyond the tree line. The sun filters through the dense canopy, speckling the forest floor with mottled light. Kevin and Weezon pick their way through the undergrowth, the humans' keen eyes scanning for any signs of danger. Suddenly, the crack of a rifle shot shatters the tranquil hum of the rainforest. Kevin whirls around, spotting a group of heavily armed men emerging from the trees. "Well, well, what have we here?" The leader, a grizzled ex-military type with a scar running down his cheek, sneers. "A human and an alien, all alone in the jungle. Hand over the blue guy, and we might just let you live." Kevin steps in front of Weezon, shielding him with his body. "Not a chance, asshole. What do you want with him?" The mercenary Jack Hawkins lets out a harsh laugh. "You really don't know, do you? That little freak is worth a fortune on the black market. Collectors pay top dollar for exotic pets like him." Rage boils in Kevin's veins at the thought of Weezon being sold like an animal. "He's not a pet, he's my friend, and you're not taking him anywhere." Jack shrugs, raising his rifle. "Have it your way then. Boys, take him down." Bullets rip through the foliage as Kevin grabs Weezon's hand, pulling him into a run. They dodge and weave through the trees, the poachers' shouts and gunfire echoing behind them. Kevin's mind races, trying to formulate a plan. He knows these woods like the back of his hand, having spent months studying the Yanomami tribe that calls this part of the Amazon home. "This way," Kevin hisses, dragging Weezon down a narrow trail that winds through a dense thicket of vines and thorns. The poachers crash through the undergrowth behind them, their progress slowed by the tangled vegetation. As they run, Kevin spots a familiar landmark, a massive kapok tree that marks the edge of Yanomami territory. An idea sparks in his mind, and he veers off the trail, heading straight for the village. They burst into the clearing, startling a group of Yanomami warriors who are sharpening their arrows by the central fire pit. Kevin raises his hands in a gesture of peace, calling out a greeting in the tribe's language. The chief, a wizened old man with a headdress of colorful feathers, steps forward, his eyes widening in recognition. "Kevin, my friend, what brings you here in such haste?" In a rush of words, Kevin explains the situation, gesturing to Wezen and the sound of the approaching poachers. The chief's face darkens, and he barks out a series of orders to his warriors. Within minutes, the Yanomami have melted into the jungle, armed with bows, blowguns, and a fierce determination to protect their land and their friends. Kevin and Wezen crouch behind a fallen log, hearts pounding as the poachers draw near. Suddenly, a chorus of screams erupts from the forest, followed by the twang of bowstrings and the hiss of darts. The poachers stumble into the clearing, several of them clutching at wounds inflicted by the Yanomami's poisoned arrows. Jack, his face contorted with rage, levels his rifle at Kevin. "You think a bunch of primitive savages can stop me? I've taken down warlords and drug kingpins. You're nothing." Kevin rises to his feet, squaring his shoulders. "You're wrong, Jack. These people, this place, they're everything. And I won't let you destroy them." With a roar, Kevin charges forward, ducking under Jack's rifle and tackling him to the ground. They grapple in the dirt, trading blows and kicks. Kevin's military training kicks in, and he manages to gain the upper hand, pinning Jack beneath him. "It's over," Kevin pants, blood dripping from a cut above his eye. "Call off your men, or the Yanomami will put an arrow through each and every one of you." Jack glares up at him, then nods curtly. "Stand down," he shouts to his remaining men. "We're done here." As the poachers retreat into the jungle, Wezen emerges from his hiding spot, staring at Kevin in awe. "I can't believe you did that," he whispers. "You saved my life." Kevin grins, wiping the sweat from his brow. "Hey, that's what friends are for, right? Now come on, let's go thank the Yanomami. We wouldn't have made it without them." As the authorities haul away the defeated poachers, Kevin turns to Wezen with a grin. "Well, that was one hell of an adventure. But we're not done yet. There's still so much more of Earth to explore." Wezen, his earlier fear now replaced by a growing sense of excitement, eagerly nods. "Where to next?" "Ever been scuba diving?" Kevin asks, a mischievous glint in his eye. A few hours later, they find themselves on the Great Barrier Reef, a kaleidoscope of colors and life. Wezen's eyes widen in wonder as they swim through the crystal-clear water, marveling at the vibrant coral and exotic fish. Kevin points out a clownfish darting among the anemone, a sea turtle gliding gracefully above them, and a moray eel peeking out from its rocky hideout. Wezen, his face mask pressed close to the coral, gasps at the intricate beauty of the underwater world. Suddenly, a pod of dolphins appears, their playful clicks and whistles filling the water. Caught up in the excitement, Wezen swims after them, laughing as they dart around him. But as the dolphins lead Wezen further from Kevin, the packlid fails to notice a discarded fishing net drifting in the current. By the time he realizes his mistake, it's too late. The net entangles him, pinning his arms to his sides and constricting his breathing. Kevin, noticing Wezen's absence, scans the water with growing concern. He spots the packlid struggling in the distance and quickly swims to his aid. As he reaches Wezen, Kevin pulls out his diving knife, carefully slicing through the tough nylon fibers. The packlid's eyes, wide with fear, meet Kevin's determined gaze as he works to free his friend. But as the last of the net falls away, a dark shape looms in the periphery of Kevin's vision. He turns, his heart pounding, to see a great white shark gliding towards them, drawn by the commotion. Wezen freezes, his terror palpable even through his mask. But Kevin, his mind racing, recognizes the shark's body language. It's more curious than aggressive, investigating the strange creatures in its domain. With slow, deliberate movements, Kevin guides Wezen towards a nearby underwater cave, keeping himself between the packlid and the shark. Once inside, he uses hand signals to teach Wezen how to avoid triggering the predator's instincts. No sudden movements, no direct eye contact, and no panicking. As the minutes tick by, the shark circles the cave entrance, its powerful tail swishing through the water. But gradually it loses interest, drawn away by the promise of easier prey. Kevin and Wezen share a look of relief, their hearts still racing from the close encounter. As they swim back to the boat, a new understanding passes between them, a bond forged through shared danger and the knowledge that, together, they can face anything Earth might throw at them. But as they break the surface, they're surprised to find themselves surrounded by familiar faces. Professor Xyloth and a group of their classmates, all wearing expressions of amazement and concern. "Kevin Wiesen," Xyloth exclaims, his voice a mix of relief and admiration. "We've been monitoring your progress, and I must say, your bravery and quick thinking in the face of Earth's dangers have been nothing short of remarkable." Kevin, helping Wiesen onto the boat, flashes his trademark grin. "Hey, it's all in a day's work for a Deathworlder, but I couldn't have done it without Wiesen here. He's a quick learner and a true friend." Wiesen, still shaking from the adrenaline, manages a smile. "I never thought I'd say this, but I'm starting to see the beauty in Earth's chaos. It's a planet that challenges you, pushes you to your limits, but also rewards those who are brave enough to embrace it." As the boat speeds back to shore, Kevin and Wiesen sit side by side, their bond stronger than ever. They know that their journey has only just begun, and that Earth still has many more lessons to teach them. As the roar of applause fades, Kevin and Wiesen step down from the stage, their hearts pounding with adrenaline. Students and faculty swarm around them, peppering them with questions about their incredible journey. "I never knew Earth was so diverse," a wide-eyed Klikic chirps. "The way you describe the rainforests, the oceans, the deserts, it's like 100 worlds in one." Kevin grins, slapping Wiesen on the back. "And none of it would have been possible without my main man here. He faced his fears head-on, and proved that bravery knows no species." Wiesen flushes a deeper shade of blue, his chest swelling with pride. "I learned from the best. Kevin showed me that sometimes you have to embrace the chaos to find the beauty." As the crowd begins to disperse, Professor Xyloth approaches, his face a mix of pride and concern. "Kevin Wiesen, a word, if you please." They follow him to a quiet corner of the auditorium, where he hands Kevin a small blinking device. "A message came through for you during the presentation. It's from Earth, marked urgent." Kevin frowns, activating the device. A holographic image of his mother flickers to life, her face etched with worry. "Kevin, it's your father. He's gone missing during an expedition to the Mariana Trench. The last transmission we received mentioned a discovery of utmost importance, but then nothing. Please, you have to find him. He needs your help." The message cuts out, leaving Kevin staring at empty air. Wiesen places a hand on his friend's shoulder, his eyes filled with determination. "I'm coming with you. You saved my life back on Earth, and now it's my turn to help you." Kevin nods, his jaw set. "We'll need a ship, supplies, and a damn good plan. The Mariana Trench is no joke. It's the deepest, darkest part of Earth's oceans. Who knows what we'll find down there?" They waste no time, sneaking into the Academy's hangar bay and commandeering a sleek black shuttle. As they blast off into the void, Kevin punches in the coordinates for Earth, his mind racing with possibilities. "I don't care what it takes," he mutters, his eyes fixed on the stars. "I'm going to find my father and bring him home." Hours later, they breach Earth's atmosphere, the shuttle shaking as it plunges into the planet's vast oceans. Kevin guides the craft to the coordinates of his father's last known location, his hands steady on the controls. "We're approaching the Mariana Trench," he announces, his voice tight. "Strap in and prepare for descent." The shuttle creaks and groans as the immense pressure of the deep bears down upon its hull. Outside the viewports, the water turns an inky black, broken only by the occasional flicker of bioluminescence. Suddenly, a massive shape looms out of the darkness, all writhing tentacles and pulsing lights. Kevin curses, wrenching the shuttle to the side, but it's too late. A tentacle wraps around the craft, dragging it down into the abyss. They come to a jarring halt inside a vast underwater cavern, the walls lined with pulsing organic technology. Strange, squid-like creatures flit through the water, their eyes glinting with malevolent intelligence. "What the hell are those things?" Wiesen whispers, his voice trembling. "Trouble," Kevin replies grimly. "Big trouble." A voice booms through the cavern, cold and imperious. "Welcome, humans, to the domain of the Abyssals. You have trespassed into our realm, and now you shall pay the price." Kevin and Weezon are dragged from the shuttle, their arms bound by sinewy tentacles. They're brought before a towering creature, its body a mass of writhing limbs and glowing orbs. "I am the overlord of the Abyssals," it hisses, its voice echoing inside their minds. "For centuries we have watched your kind, studying your weaknesses, biding our time. And now, with the help of your father, we shall bring your pitiful species to its knees." A screen flickers to life, revealing Kevin's father, haggard and beaten, hunched over a pulsing console. "I'm sorry, Kevin," he rasps, his eyes haunted. "They forced me to build it. A weapon capable of destroying entire worlds. You have to stop them, no matter the cost." The Overlord laughs, cruel and mocking. "Your father is weak like all humans. He will serve his purpose, and then he will be discarded." Kevin strains against his bonds, his eyes blazing with fury. "You underestimate us, Overlord, my father and I. We're not just humans, we're Deathworlders, and we don't go down without a fight." He glances at Weezon, a silent message passing between them. The pack-led nods, his own eyes hardening with resolve. "How you think you can outsmart us?" Kevin snarls at the Overlord. "Prove it. Pit your technology against my human ingenuity, and we'll see who comes out on top." The Overlord pauses, intrigued by Kevin's challenge. "Very well, human, let the games begin." As Kevin is led away to face the Overlord's twisted trials, Weezon begins to subtly work at his bonds, his nimble fingers seeking out any weakness in the organic material. And deep within the bowels of the underwater city, Kevin's father toils away at the Doomsday device, his mind racing with desperate plans and last-ditch gambits. They are Deathworlders, the three of them, forged in the crucible of Earth's unrelenting hazards. And they will not go quietly into the abyss, not without a fight that will shake the very foundations of the galaxy. The Abyssal Overlord leers over Kevin, its tentacles writhing with anticipation. "Your first challenge, human, is a test of raw intellect. Solve this equation, and you may proceed. Fail, and your species is doomed." A holographic display springs to life, filled with swirling alien symbols and complex mathematical constructs. Kevin's eyes widen as he realizes the true scope of the problem before him. It's unlike anything he's ever encountered, a puzzle that would stump even the brightest minds of the Galactic Academy. But he is a Deathworlder, raised on a planet where every day is a battle of wits against an unforgiving environment. He takes a deep breath, his mind racing as he begins to break down the equation, searching for patterns and hidden meanings. Minutes turn into hours as he works, sweat beading on his brow, his fingers flying over the holographic interface. The Overlord watches in silence, its eyes glinting with a grudging respect. "You are clever for a primate," it muses, "but cleverness alone will not save you." Just as Kevin begins to despair, a flash of insight strikes him like a bolt of lightning. He inputs a final string of commands, and the display flashes green. He has solved the unsolvable. The Overlord recoils, its tentacles writhing in shock. "Impossible! No mere human could have cracked that cipher." Kevin grins, a fierce primal expression. "I told you, Overlord, never underestimate a Deathworlder." He turns to Weezon, who has managed to free himself from his bonds. Together they race through the underwater city, dodging abyssal guards and navigating the twisting organic corridors. They burst into the chamber where Kevin's father is being held, just as the old man slumps over the console, his final act of defiance complete. The Doomsday device sparks and sputters, its power core overloading. "Dad!" Kevin cries, rushing to his father's side. But it's too late. The elder Bennett is gone, his life given in service to the galaxy he loved. Tears streaming down his face, Kevin grabs Weezon's hand, and together they flee the crumbling city, dodging falling debris and cascading explosions. They barely make it back to the shuttle before the entire structure collapses in on itself, burying the abyssal menace beneath tons of rubble and twisted metal. As they blast away from the Mariana Trench, Kevin stares out the viewport, his eyes hard with determination. "This isn't over," he vows. "My father's sacrifice won't be in vain. I'll find a way to protect the galaxy from whatever else is out there, waiting in the darkness." Weezon places a hand on Kevin's shoulder, a gesture of solidarity and shared grief. "And I'll be right there with you, every step of the way. We're in this together, Kevin, no matter what the universe throws at us." The shuttle streaks back towards the Galactic Academy, carrying 2 battered, weary heroes and a grim truth. The galaxy is a far more dangerous place than anyone had ever imagined, and the battles to come will test the very limits of their strength, courage, and ingenuity. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.